about getting into Pokemon card collecting? Or maybe you've already started and you need a few top tips? Or possibly you're a parent of a kid who wants to start collecting and you want to just have a few basic ideas of what's going on. Well, then this video is perfect for you because I'm going to be giving you 10 top tips I wish I knew before I started collecting Pokemon cards. Now, I've already done 10 top tips for buyers at Pokemon card shows and vendors at Pokemon card shows, but I thought I'd take it all the way back to just simply collecting. Now, there are going to be timestamps in this video, so if there's one particular thing you're interested in, then make sure to have a look in the description to see where it's at. But without further ado, let's jump into number 1. Learn the basics of Rarity. Now, I'm sure for many people this may seem to be like super duper simple and stuff like that, but for brand new people there is actually quite a lot of depth to it, and also for parents if you're trying to get into collecting or just trying to know the basics for your children when you're going to Pokemon card shows, then this may be useful for you. Now, the Scarlet and Violet era did introduce a brand new system for Rarity. So before then, we simply had common cards, uncommon cards, and rare cards. It didn't matter how rare it was, the pricing of it and stuff like that, that's all you had. But then in the Scarlet and Violet era, they introduced a whole bunch of new rarity symbols. Now, I will include a little graphic here because it is really, really useful to be able to see exactly the name of the rarity and also the sort of cards you can get in it, but I'll just read it out for you as well. So we can see that it starts with the circle being common cards, the diamond being uncommon, 1 black star is rare, 2 double black stars is a double rare, which has regular Pokemon EXs, and then 2 white stars is ultra rare, a full art Pokemon and full art trainers, and then we have the 1 gold star, which is an illustration rare, and then we have 2 gold stars, which is a special illustration rare, and then 3 gold stars, which is a hyper rare, which includes all of the gold cards. Now, there isn't too much more I can be able to delve into this really. It's more just about learning it and knowing it off the top of your head when you're looking at cards, and you can kind of roughly gauge on the sort of value that you're pulling as well. The eras. Now, when you first get into Pokemon cards, you probably have absolutely no idea about the amount of eras that there have been throughout Pokemon's history. And I'm planning on doing a more in-depth video on the different eras, so let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in that. But for now, I'm just going to run through the very rough guides on what the eras were. Starting off with base set, or the Wizard of the Coast era, which lasted from 1999 all the way to 2003. Then we have the EX era going from 2003 to 2007. Diamond and Pearl era then was next, lasting from 2007 to 2009. Heart Gold Soul Silver era was up next from 2010 to 2011. The Black and White era then followed up, lasting from 2011 to 2013. XY era was from 2014 to 2016. Sun and Moon followed up from 2017 to 2019. Sword and Shield was then from 2020 to 2023. And the Scarlet and Violet era was then from 2023 up to present day. Now, like I said, I'm planning on going much more in depth in these eras in a future video, so make sure to stay tuned for that one if you are interested in that. Preservation and organization. Now, of course, if you are a new person or if you're a returning person, then a lot of people, obviously, you either experience this or you would have heard of people saying like, oh, my childhood collection, look at it now, it's all battered up, if only we knew, sort of thing. And that's so true, because honestly, when you're younger and when you're just starting out, you really don't have any idea about the cards that you're actually pulling, the value of them, and also just how much you're going to hold them close to your heart when you're older. So when you're starting out, make sure to instantly invest in some penny sleeves. Penny sleeves are these slim, flimsy ones here that literally just fit around your card, providing a little extra bit of a protection onto it. If you want to go one step further, then use a top loader as well. These are what you call top loaders, and they just basically just add an extra bit of protection onto your thing. They're a lot more sturdy, and they're just good for your higher value cards. You can also use something called a semi-rigid sleeve as well, which I don't have any on me right now, unfortunately, but they are also useful, and they're useful if you're submitting to grading as well, which I'll get onto grading later, so don't worry about that too much right now. So when you're opening up any kind of product, I'd always have some penny sleeves on hand so that in case you pull a really lovely card, you can instantly put it into that penny sleeve. And of course, you can choose whatever card you want to put in your penny sleeve. If you want to put all of your common cards in penny sleeves as well, then go for it. But me personally, I would advise putting any regular EXs and rarer, then I would put them in penny sleeves, especially if you're planning to use them as trade or to sell later down the line. And of course, when you're starting out, you're going to want to get a good binder. Now, one thing I would highly recommend, there are lots of different companies you can go with, but one thing I'd highly recommend is to go with a side-loaded binder. Now, this means that when you look at the pages, when you slot the cards in, you slot them into the side of the sleeve rather than putting them in downwards sort of thing. And also, try not to buy any ring binders as well, because they can damage your card quite badly. Of course, Vault X is the UK's #1 most known brand for binders and stuff like that, but I have to give a little shout out to Guardian Elite as well, because they are coming out with their binders and everything like that as well. So if you want to have a look at their one as well, then make sure to have a look. But any kind of binder that has side-loaded ones are really, really good. You can get most of them. I would recommend especially also just getting one for penny sleeves that are just going to fit your card in, but you can also specifically find ones that can fit in top loaders, because if you buy a regular binder, these top loaders, if you want to top load your card, they will not fit in the actual slot. So if you want to find a specific one for top loaders, then you have to make sure you specify that when you're searching it up. Now, binders are useful if you're going to try and do any kind of collection challenge, or if you just have some lovely cards you want to store, or if you're doing a master set to put them all in there. But a lot of the time, especially when you're new to collecting Pokemon cards, you're going to be opening a lot, which means you're going to have a lot of bulk with you. And what I do personally with all my bulk is I store them in my ETBs. They're just a safe, compact place to be able to store a bunch of cards all in one place until you know where they are. You could also invest in some cardboard boxes that a lot of people actually use as well, just to sort out all of your bulk in one place as well, because you can get these massive ones that are really, really cheap. And then linking onto that with organization, especially when it comes to bulk, I would personally, like I do on my phone, have a notes app or notes page sort of thing, where you basically just list out where everything is. You could even go to the point of listing out your binders as well, but you probably know more in depth what's in your binders. But say because of my ETB wall, I don't know off the top of my head where my 151 bulk is and stuff like that. So I'll write down in my notes page where I put all of my 151 bulk, and then I can easily find it when I want to go back to it next. But then when it comes to actually organizing your binder, when you have all your beautiful hits and stuff like that, it's so personable. So I can't really decide that for you. Some people, like I said, if they're going for a master set, will organize their binders by set. Some people will organize it by era, or by type of card. So if you put all your illustration rests together, all your special illustration rests together, by Pokemon, or maybe if you're doing a really cute niche challenge where a lot of people do ones that are like, all the sleeping cards sort of thing. So every Pokemon that's sleeping in any kind of artwork, they put all of those in a binder section together. That's the whole fun of doing collections, in my opinion. So don't let anyone else's opinion sway you on how you want to organize your binder. Make it personal to you. Speed. Now, one thing this hobby that can be very easy to feel is quite a lot of pressure from everyone else around you. But don't ever let that make you feel pushed or rushed into trying to get your collection done. Especially if you're doing a master set, it's actually sometimes more clever to be not rushing into it, because sometimes prices will drop significantly after the big hype has died down a bit. You also don't have to constantly keep up with the most current set. If you're trying to master set something that came out like a few months ago, and like 2 new sets have come out since then, don't feel like you have to open it yet. Don't feel like you have to open it at all. If you don't fancy that set, or if you're so busy and focused on doing your current set you're trying to master set, then just leave these 2 to a side. And if you occasionally see a product there, here and there, and you want to open it, go for it. But do not feel like you have to constantly keep up with every single new set, especially when you're starting out, because that will get you burnt out very, very quickly. So focus on the thing you want to focus on, and do not let any kind of speed be any kind of importance. Budgeting. Now again, this is obviously very personable to everyone's circumstances, so I cannot exactly advise you on exact numbers or anything like that. But what I would advise is to have a set budget either per month or per show, depending on how you like to do your Pokemon card collecting. If you're not someone who likes to go to shows particularly, then obviously I would set a specific amount you want to spend per month, whether that's on Whatnot, on eBay, on Instagram, anything like that. I would set a specific budget, especially when you're starting out, because it's so exciting and your eyes are being open to like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. So you kind of want to just grab everything, but I'll definitely try and restrict yourself a little bit. Also, save up for a particular set or show that you're looking forward to, because obviously London Card Show, that's a massive one that a lot of people do very much save up for, because they know they're going to splurge and splash out and stuff like that. So that's a big thing. But also the sets coming out, obviously we have the mega set coming out. So I personally am very, very looking forward to that. Not just for, because obviously I'm sure you guys are realizing this now, I do vending and stuff like that, reselling, but I'm going to master set that mega set. So I know personally, for my own personal budget, I want to save up for that one a bit, because I want to really have fun on that one. Also, a smart way to save money is to also utilize trading, which I'm going to lead on to in the next point. Buy/trade smartly. Now this obviously depends who you're going to be trading with, but if you're trading with fellow collectors and stuff like that, then you can obviously expect that you're going to need a bang on ratio. So if I'm trading you a £10 card, I'm expecting to get back a £10 card as well. Obviously, if you're trying to trade with a vendor, then you're going to have to expect a percentage being taken off, probably 70%, 80%, 60%, I don't know, something around that. Everyone's completely different and subjective with their trading prices and percentages sort of thing. So it's very different, but if you're trading with a vendor, then expect there to be a bit of a price difference. But only get rid of cards that you're not going to regret later down the line. When you're starting out, you may think it's really exciting to like, oh, I've pulled this really good card, I'm instantly gonna go and sell it to buy something else and buy something new. And maybe you trade it towards ripping something and you get absolutely nothing back and you're like, oh, I wish I had that card again now. So don't over trade, basically. I know I said to use it as a tool so you don't have to spend money all the time and stuff like that, but don't get rid of ones that you know you're gonna regret later down the line. Make sure to know the value of the card that you're trying to sell or trade with as well. But depending on whether it's gonna be to a fellow collector or a trader, you need to know the price that you're happy with in your mind, whether it's gonna be the exact value of the card or if you have a percentage off of it as well. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to go on eBay and look at large solds and make sure to use the UK market, because the difference between the US and the everywhere else in the world and the UK can be very different per card. So when you're looking at large solds, make sure to click on UK only. Only trade with people that you trust. That goes with collectors and with other vendors. Card shows are by far the easiest place to do this. You can do it with people that you know, or you can get talking to people that just happen to be there, because it's always there's normally 9 times out of 10 there will be a kind of trade zone at any kind of card show. So there's always a place that you can go and chat to people if you want to get some trades done with new people, which is exciting as well. Of course, being online can be a really good place as well, but you have to be a lot more careful and just be a lot more trusting with someone to be able to actually trade, because obviously you're sending each other cards, so you have to be very, very trusting with that person. Discord servers are obviously a really good place as well, because that you're kind of holding people accountable, because if someone kind of messes you about, then you can instantly just put in the group chat hey, this person's done this sort of thing, and then everyone else in the group chat can be like, what's going on sort of thing. So Discord servers are a really good place as well. And then of course for buying, not really trading, but eBay is obviously a really good place, but make sure to be careful, because some people can be a little bit scummy on eBay sort of thing. So make sure to be careful, 1, to not get ripped off, and 2, to actually get the product that you're buying. Japanese versus English. Now for the main sets, the Pokemon card art is always going to be exactly the same in Japanese and it is in English. But the set releases are going to be different. Japan's set releases are always first before the rest of the world, and they often release more sets than the rest of the world as well. So normally when the English set comes out, it actually combines 2 from the Japanese sets. So if you're ever worried that you've missed out on a set because you've seen that there's more Japanese sets coming out, then do not worry. There is definitely more coming out in Japan than there is in the rest of the world. Obviously, I know I said that there's going to be the same cards as there is in Japan as there is in the rest of the world. Obviously, there's going to be some promos that are exclusive, but for the actual sets that you're getting, they will be the same. Doesn't mean that they're actually accessible in the same way though. So for example, the Mewtwo from 151, you have to pull that card in Japanese, but in English, it's a promo card. There are also very, very slight changes when it comes to the naming of the rarity system in Japanese and English, but everyone interchanges them all the time, so do not worry if you ever fumble up on these ones. Very simple though, illustration rares are known as art rares, and special illustration rares are known as special art rares. When you're opening Japanese booster boxes as well, then you are guaranteed hits per box. When opening a Japanese booster box, you are guaranteed at least 1 secret rare, which will include either a full art, that being a Pokemon full art or a trainer full art, or a special illustration rare. You also get a set number of art rares per box as well. I think that may change certain per set, because I think sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4 or 5, so that may change, but there's always a set number you'll get. Also, if there are Master Balls or specific kind of reverse holos in that set, you're also guaranteed, say if it is a Master Ball, then you're guaranteed to get a Master Ball per box as well. Now there are a few nitty gritty parts that are different between Japanese and English, but those are the main headliners. Grading. Now, especially in this market, it may seem very important you have to grade your cards. And the first thing I have to say is do not rush into this. Grading should be seen as a fun thing that you should do every now and then if you're not going to be super serious into collecting and reselling. Obviously for reselling, then there's clear benefits to doing lots of grading. But if you're purely just collecting and you're new to collecting, then do not rush into the grading part of it. You also don't have to do it at all. If you're just purely wanting to be buying and collecting, that is absolutely fine as well. So do not ever feel like you have to do it full stop. Even if your card looks beautiful, mint, 10 out of 10, the centering is perfect, everything like that, then still doesn't mean you have to go and grade it. If you want to have it in your binder, stick it in your binder. But there are of course lots of different options. There are lots of different trading companies you can go to, but the main ones that have been headliners, of course, are PSA and Ace Grading, really. Now obviously we have Beckett and CGC and stuff like that as well, and lots of other ones, but those 2 are going to be the main ones you're focused on, really. Now PSA is US exclusive, so you have to use what's called a middleman service to be able to use PSA. Now there are many people you can use for a middleman service. Of course, the sub center probably being collecting. The most known one in the UK, but there's also black label grading. You can go to Collectors Card House. You can use trust grading. There are many people that are there available to you who you can do a middleman service with. And all that involves is literally you handing over your cards and basically saying, send them to PSA for me, please. They send them. When they come back, you then pay for it. And there you go, all done. They've just basically done the whole system for you. But with Ace, you can actually send it directly to them because they are UK based. I believe you can also use a middleman service if you want to as well, just to avoid any kind of hassle. But obviously, if you can send it to yourself, it's probably easier and just more safe to have it just sent to yourself as well. But like I said, please do not worry too much about grading because that is something that can be coming a lot later down the line for you if you are brand new to collecting. Make it personal. Now, I know this is an absolute cliche for not just Pokemon card collecting, but for everything in life, but don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has completely different goals, aspirations, enjoyment of this hobby, so please do not feel like you have to compare yourself to others when you're doing your collecting. Some people have been doing this literally since 1999 and they've carried on doing it, obviously with a few breaks here and there, but they've kept going, and so their collection is going to be absolutely insane compared to your one if you're just starting out. Don't ever feel like you have to compare yourself when it comes to the different prices that you are aiming at to get as well, your budget, what you've already got in your collection, what you're trying to trade with. Literally, take it as you want. Please don't feel like you have to follow the crowd if everyone's trying to do a hop on one trend sort of thing as well. Like, because obviously at the minute, the biggest trend is probably trying to master set 151. And that is obviously lovely. And some people feel like they're then, oh, if everyone else is doing it, I have to do it as well. Please never feel like you have to do anything like that. But on the flip side, if you want to follow the crowd, follow the crowd. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to be part of the buzz of a community who's all trying to do the exact same thing. Like, oh, what have you got left? Oh, I've got 10 left. Oh, I've got 13 left, sort of thing. It's so fun to also be part of that community and be part of the buzz. So do not feel like either way you're missing out, because if you're doing your own thing, that's great, because funnily enough, probably means you're paying less, because if everyone's trying to do the same thing, then the price is going to go hiking up. But also, if you want to join in with the community, you get a community buzz from it as well. So there's literally that you're winning in both situations here. Just focus on your collection, how you want to make it fun for you, which leads me on to keep the hobby fun. Now, sometimes you may think that, oh, this is getting super stressful and stuff like that because you're trying to collect too many things at once, or you're trying to buy too many things at once, or the prices are hiking up sort of thing. And when those moments come, take a step back, have a little breather, and just wait for a little bit. Wait for that spark to reignite again. Because trust me, it definitely will. I had a little break probably, I don't know, a couple years ago now maybe. I went like really hard into it for like a year, and then for a couple of months I didn't buy anything, I wasn't really watching anything. I just had a little break because I think I burnt myself out a little bit too much because I went so hard when I first got back into it. And that's completely and utterly normal as well. Don't ever feel like, oh, I've bought all this stuff now what I'm gonna do with it. Trust me, wait a little bit and that fuel will start to burn again. Make yourself remember why you fell in love with this hobby in the first place as well. Whether that was for the collecting aspect, the Pokemon, a YouTuber you like to watch. There are so many different options of why you may have gotten into this hobby in the first place. So maybe try and like reignite or reminisce on why you got into it if you're finding a little bit of struggle to try and be able to get that passion back again. And don't restrict yourself too much. I know I say about budgeting and stuff like that and doing your own thing, but sometimes you may fancy picking up a card that's completely unrelated to absolutely everything that you've bought in your collection so far. And maybe that might spark interest in a brand new collection you want to do when your other one's done, or maybe at the same time if you have budget allowing and stuff like that. But I would always say, a lot of people say to make sure that you don't push yourself too much on like how much you're collecting. Don't try and collect everything. I'm not saying to try and collect everything, but I am saying don't restrict yourself too much, because that can often sometimes be the cause of a little bit of a downfall in the collection hobby. So just take it one day at a time, enjoy what you want to enjoy, and don't overthink it. And there you have it. Those are my 10 top tips for brand new Pokemon card collectors. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and found it useful, because I tried to just compile a few different things that I wish I knew when I first started collecting Pokemon cards, because it's a big hobby. It's a very big hobby, a huge community as well, obviously a very growing community, which is why I want to make this video for people who are brand new, or who, like I said, parents maybe that their kids are getting into it and you want to just help and be a bit more aware of things, stuff like that. Then it's really good to be able to just have some basic ideas about things. So if you did enjoy this video, then make sure to like, subscribe, share around, all that good stuff. And check out my other 2 videos if you're brand new to collecting. Maybe you're going to go to a card show as well. So check out my 10 top tips for going to a Pokemon card show. Or maybe you fancy diving into the vending world as well. So maybe check out that video, 10 top tips for vendors at Pokemon cards. There's plenty to watch on my channel, so make sure to go and check it all out for yourself. And comment down below if you have any more tips for brand new collectors, or any questions as well, because I'd love to answer any kind kind of questions that you may have because I want to help as many people in this brand new hobby as well as I can. As always, I also want to give a huge thank you to my greatest Slab to members of my YouTube channel, of course being PokeSwampert, TechPunk Ash, and Willow Collects TCG. I have now also set up a Patreon page with the exact same perks and the exact same tiers. So if you fancy signing up, then make sure to either go to my YouTube membership to sign up, but some people have seemed to be struggling with that a little bit. So if you have been struggling with that a little bit, then you can hop over to my Patreon, which is linked in the description, and you can get the exact same benefits there as well. But for now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye!